What's up, everybody? My name is Wreck-It Rob, and welcome back to Calibria Crystal Guardians. And today we are tackling Leviathan B10. Sorry, excuse my language, or the Leviathan Catacombs 10F. So this is a trouble for a lot of people who don't really understand. I'm actually gonna keep that. This dungeon is kind of a trouble for people who don't really kind of understand the basics of how dots work or things like that. So I'm gonna go in. You just saw my team beat it. So this is the first team I beat it with. This isn't the best team, and it's not the approach that most people are gonna take to it. This is my take on it, simply because I did come over from Summoner's War, so I kind of do have an understanding of who some of these units kind of mimic in that game anyway. So what you see here is, if you saw my Colossus video, you see that this is almost the exact same team, and I haven't changed around any of their runes at all. So if you want to see their runes, I go through them all in the last video, or I can actually just go over them all right now. But so the only addition to the team is the Demonic Swordsman, and he's going to be replacing the Pharaoh who you use in the in the Colossus. So these are his runes. He is on attack and wild, simply because I want him to be a damage dealer. I also want him for his stun and his defense break, because they're both very good. I should show the skills I have him on. So his first skill, normal, is the way of the sword. Second skill, I have him on jumping slash. That's really nice because it has a stun, and if you're hitting something that's already stunned with that skill, you're gaining energy. But you also gain more energy if you have him on edgeless Eep? I don't know how to say that. But so whenever you land a critical strike with him, all of your allies gain 20% energy. So pretty much every attack that he's gaining you 40 energy. If you have him with, how much crit do I have on him? 97%. So 3 times out of 100 he's not going to hit, but the vast majority of the time he is. So he's a critical part of this team because of how much he helps your team to turn cycle. So like I said, the way I approach this dungeon is a little bit different than most people, and I'll kind of go over the normal kind of build to this dungeon a little later, but I'm going to take you through a full run of Leviathan right now with this team. So you have the Mummy as a leader, mostly to survive these first couple of waves and then a couple of hits from the boss at the ending, because that's always really helpful. Oh man, I wish he would have landed a defense break. That would have been nice to kill him first. Yeah, so kind of the same with the first wave as in Colossus. You really want to take out the main damage dealers in the first wave first, simply because if you have, especially like the Druid as a healer and enough turn cycling, the dots aren't really going to matter, because as fast as they're taking damage off you, you're going to be putting health back on your team. So it's really not going to matter all that much. So once they're out of the way, you already know that, geez, I don't know what my problem is tonight. You already know that you're going to win this, at least the first level here. Even if you see the 3 dots on my Demonic Swordsman, and although he's not a tanky unit, that's not going to matter, because dots don't care if you're a tanky unit or not. Dots are actually better if you use tanky units. But having said that, you can't just take 5 damage dealers in here if you don't have the rune quality, because they're gonna die. They're gonna get either one shot by the boss or in the mid stage. So this is the stage that kind of poses, I don't want to say the most threat, because really that's the Leviathan stage, mostly to the Demonic Swordsman, because, okay, that's good. So the reason this poses more of a threat is it's strictly damage. There's not really any dots here. I think they do toss a couple of burns on, but that's not really much at all. Like I said, those, if anything, work better on tanky units, but if you have a good enough healer, an AoE healer, like the Druid, or honestly even the Holy Cleric, things like that, they're not really going to matter. Okay, so he has a defense break, an attack break, he can't get beneficial effects, and he has 3 dots on him, so he's dead. Okay, so the boss stage. This boss stage is going to be terrible unless you do a couple of things. So easiest way to get this done is just eliminate the right tower, or really either tower. I guess if you're wanting to eliminate both towers, you'd go left tower, right tower, and then the boss. But like I said, I don't really care about the dots all that much, or the poisons. They are dots, which means damage over time. But I don't really care about the dots as much because I know that with having the Windwalker and the Demonic Swordsman, it's providing enough turn cycling that those don't really matter to me. So the main goal for what I really want to do with this team is I want to out turn cycle the dots. So what that means is they're ticking off constant turns. They're ticking off a certain amount of HP each turn. But because I have like the Druid in there, he's going to be offering consistent heals almost every turn with his third skill, Purifying Rain, I believe it's called. So he's going to be offering consistent heals with that. So if he's offering consistent heals and then he's also offering an AoE heal every couple of turns, the dots really aren't going to matter. What matters the most really is going to be the hits from the boss. So I already knew he was dead, so I switched the targeting to the boss. So the run goes much better as long as we can get these double dots off, because he deals extra damage the more negative status effects you have on you, which negative status effects, that's the dots. That's what those are. So like this, he's going to deal an extra, I think 20% damage right now. But if we're able to turn cycle, we weren't able to turn cycle enough off. But if you're able to turn cycle those off before he can get a turn, then you'll be much better off and you're going to save a little bit of HP there and not have to worry about it as much. Okay, so that was his 50% attack. And if you noticed, I didn't have that many dots on my team because of how much I turn cycled. And then he also didn't do as much damage just in general because he has an attack break on him, which is thanks to the Flame Mantis. Yeah, his name is the Flame Mantis, not the Flame Serpent, as I realized in the last video. Okay, so that is... I'm gonna keep you. So that's my approach to this. So now, a much better approach to this, or a much more consistent in my mind, because really, if the Demonic Swordsman gets killed, I lose a lot of turn cycling, and I'm probably going to get dots stacked on me. He's going to hit once, my whole team's going to die, at least in theory. So a much better way to do this would be to swap out probably the Mummy, because he has immunity, so it's not going to be as necessary for that. And you'd want someone who provides... I don't really have a good unit built for it, but you want someone who provides some kind of assistance or damage, and then a speed lead. So like a great example for assistance would be my Enchantress. So it provides everyone more speed, so that means more turn cycling, which is ultimately going to end up better. And she's going to replace the damage that my Mummy does in dots. I don't think I really have another great example. You can also see a couple of the new units I summoned. There's the Fallen Angel from my summoning video, the Ironheart. He was new, I got him today, I think. But yeah, so you want a unit that provides some kind of assistance, some kind of buff or anything like that, and helps you to survive. So, a great unit to have for this is if you go into crafting in the... Let me actually show you. So if you click Heroes, and then you click Craft, this Necromancer. This Necromancer is pretty much here to help people clear Leviathan. If you don't have him, I suggest you get him. Having said that, I don't have him because I can't find a Voodoo Walker. You only get the Voodoo Walker from pieces in a secret dungeon, or I forget what it's called. I think they call it a horde in this game. You can only find him there. You can't summon him. So step one to getting a Necromancer is to get him. Obviously, the other step is to get these, all of these 4 stars, which if you look, all of these 4 stars can be crafted using 3 stars. So it's not that hard to get these. Or chances are, if you have enough summons, if you're doing your growth plan, you have these already anyway. Like, for example, I have, let's see, you're the Shield Guardian. I think I have like 3 of him. Let's just go look. This also gives you an example, a way to look at some of my monsters. Yeah, I forget which one's the Shield Guardian. It's yeah. So I have in total 5 of him. So if you haven't summoned them, craft them. But say you can't find a Voodoo Walker. You're like me. Great thing to do if you're taking this other approach, not necessarily my approach, is to get, where is she? Right there. This white. Now, she's a 3-star. She's very easy to get from mystical scrolls. You can also get her from unknown scrolls. Super easy to summon. Also super easy to skill up. I also think she's farmable, but in like one of the last stages, so you're not going to want to farm for her. So, because of this passive Devouring Grudge, it's like a budget version of the Necromancer. Because if you look at what the Necromancer is used for, at the start of each turn, 70% chance to erase one negative status effect from all enemies except Action Lock. For each effect restored, for each effect removed, restore 3% of own HP. So once you skill him up, you get 100%. Everyone's being cleansed one negative effect every turn. So the budget version of that is the white's 3rd skill, which can be skilled up to, I think, 60%. Yeah. So it's only a 60% chance, but it's still a chance that every turn she's taking one of those dots off, which helps you if you don't want to do my method where you just outspeed them. If you just want to cleanse them off, not have to worry about them, and make it a little bit more consistent. Obviously more consistent than her is going to be the Necromancer, but she's a 3-star, super easy to skill up, so if you have her, might as well use her. So the way I would stick her in here, get out of here. The way I would stick her in would be, I'm curious, what is her leader skill? If it's resistance, that's actually really good. No, it's an arena skill. So with this team, let's see. Evil Heroes defense. Let's see. I don't think any of these guys have really good, yeah, no. So either the Demonic Swordsman, or I would probably use the Flame Mantis, just because it adds a little bit more stability to your team, especially on the Demonic Swordsman, who is not tanky at all. So it's going to help him survive that first wave, because really after the second wave, it's all just cleansing dots from there, because the boss doesn't do a whole lot of damage if you don't have dots on you. So that's pretty much all you really need to beat this. I'm curious, actually, she's only a 4-star. Sometime in the future, I'll do a video on her after I finish building her, and I think she's all the way skilled up. I'll do a video on her just to show you guys and actually use her in Leviathan. I'm sorry I can't show her off right now. I don't really have her built, nor do I have the stuff to build her right now, but I will in the future. So just to kind of go back over it. So Leviathan, the main thing you got to worry about is kill the right tower, potentially kill both towers, deal with the boss. You also have to worry about just kind of ticking off poisons, and you can do that by either out turn cycling the boss, which is what my first team was really kind of meant for, or you can just go about cleansing the stuff off with the white, which you could potentially take out the Demonic Swordsman for and throw her in there too. Like I could get rid of him, I could throw in the white right there. I'm sure this team would run just fine. We have turn cycling from the Windwalker, and we also have cleansing, and then we also have the dots from the Mummy to help kill the tower faster. Actually, since I can't really playtest this might actually be a better team. So this is going to be more beginner friendly, because the only 4-star in this team right here anyway is the Druid. I understand that it's going to be adding one more 4-star unit if you're using the Demonic Swordsman, but with the summoning rates in this game, that shouldn't really, oh god, just cranked my headphones all the way up and blasted my eardrums. But with the summoning rates in this game, this shouldn't be that hard of a team to acquire. If anybody has any other kind of teams, like teams, ideas, anything, tips, tricks about this, please let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, I only finished this dungeon like 5 days ago. I only sat there because I was bored, because you get 150 crystals for doing each one of the 10 floors of every dungeon. So I just sat there and I was like, you know, I've only beaten up to 8 on like most of them, so I might as well try it. So I went through, beat all of them, got down to Leviathan. I was like, there's no way I can do this. Just threw this team in there and it worked. So I'm not sure about the consistency of this team. I'll let you guys know in the future. But if you want to take a stab at Leviathan B10, this is the way to go. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe button down below. And let me know, like I said, about tips, tricks for this. Other people here are going to be new to this game, so it's going to be nice to get as much information out there as possible. I really enjoy making these videos, and I really love this game. And I really hope that this game continues to grow and prosper the way I think it's going to. But with that, thank you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.